Man, like, now there is more tragedy to it, but man's entire thing is literally he gets so hurt for the slight betrayal of a woman, he rips his own heart out to never feel love again.
Wow, he is an incel.
That's what happened. Hey, we're...
Like, I did that as, like, that's just, you know, the dumb internet joke, but it's like, wow, he actually does line up more with an incel than you would think.
That's literally the plot of what happened. That reminds me.
I'm amazed no one has made this connection yet.
There's your return to kill on key, just say the word. It's Lieutenant Skull, time and spotlight's done. See me in town. Okay. Or, follow my logic, stuff to do. Yes, some stuff. But he is literally, that is verbatim, the thing. Davy Jones felt he felt betrayed by a woman, and he never wanted to feel love again, so he ripped his own heart out. That, like, I know I'm kind of ruining it.
Oh, hey, wave bumpers.
There's a star piece. More importantly,
I can't remember. Is there also isn't there a panel there, or is it just the one star piece?
I think it's just the one. Don't quote me on that though.
They're really tiny and nothing seems to be reacting.
Yeah.
I was going to say that would also be one of the times you could use Miss Mouse and use her overworld ability, but the problem was her overworld ability because it literally is determined by...
I love these things.
Because it literally is determined by a screen. If
there is anything on the screen, then no matter what the thing is...
Like the, you know, the Plaza of Rogueport as an example, you might say it's like, why is she still reacting? We got the one in front of the noose. It's because the back alley...
Good news.
The back alleys are still...
Don't know where I'm being held, but there's an odd computer called Tech. By cooperating Tech, I managed to obtain some of the Fiend's data. Tech is currently analyzing it, and as strange as it may sound, I trust him. Once his analysis is done, I should be able to provide you with details of their plans. I'll email again. Once I learn more, be good, okay? Princess Feast is totally awesome. Go, girl. Okay. This is going to... First of all... Yes! Give me that!
Why is the Wario emblem so expensive?
I will be back for you, my sweet.
Why? Why is it that expensive? You should have made those less expensive, not more.
Mush! There it is! Ah! The prince has returned!
Duh.
That's why I got that done when I did, because I knew I didn't want to fight that man anyway.
I believe that didn't open until now.
No? Apparently, if you do enough battles and literally go through enough loading screens, you can force it as soon as you help Jolene. We're just doing the plot. There's the one fire drive.
Fire drive is the reason I think Vivian is kind of a bad party member.
Attacks all ground enemies, ignoring defense, and it burns. But every enemy in a row takes less damage.
So it would go 5, 4, 3. That is the
If you did 5 damage, it'd be 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yes, but the, like, and we'll, you know, get to it later, unless...
Oh, we'll get to it later.
Unless this version of the game fixed something, there's something with Fiery Jinx, which is why I think, like, Fire Drive is just, you know, better. The other thing with Fire Drive is, like, all badges, it can also, if you're going to be that guy, technically be increased with multiple badges, but the enemy that I think drops that is a very, very late game enemy in the pit, so yeah, you're not getting more than 2 of those.
Not
Easily.
There's like 1 duplicate in the pit.
That's why I said you're not getting more than 2. The one you buy and the, like, duplicate in the pit, those are the only 2 you're getting. If you want any others, I think it's dropped by an enemy on, like, floor 80 of the pit. That shit ain't happening.
Blow that up. And now, more importantly than anything else in the world right now, shit, Ripo's Adjustment House.
I don't like the aura something called an adjustment house gives off.
Adjust Mario stats. 39 coins.
What, you can do the same for partners?
Yes, you've always... we're going to... let's increase BP. But, you have to take away something. By doing this?
Can you put partners in a permanent fight?
No.
Wah, wah.
No, you cannot.
What the fuck do you adjust on partners then?
You can slightly modify their stats, but we're not. I am now in permanent danger. No turning back. But the upside of doing this is basically,
Like, despite, and this is where we get, and I'm amazed that they actually did leave it in this game, but if the whole frame perfect thing is true and the making things more expensive, that does seem to be their idea to nerf danger. I've always taken Danger Mario as a exploit where they weren't really thinking about it, because despite the fact that you're now in, you know, a permanent 5 HP, if your HP is full, you don't have the, like, tired danger animation. You only get the animation and the beeping and, like, danger to show up if you're below 5,
yes.
and 1 is still peril. Though that's also the other reason I almost feel like they weren't entirely thinking about their systems was this, because technically, what if your HP became, like, 5, danger should now only exist at, like, 2 or, like, 3 HP.
It says 5 HP or below, though. That's the thing.
But it's 5 HP or below because your starting HP was 10.
Yes!
So it's half.
But...
so if it technically wanted to be consistent,
hold on.
it would have to be
I know
half
what
of 5.
God damn it. The problem, and we keep talking about this, and you've said this before, except if they did it half and you had 50 HP, half of 50, you'd be in danger at 25.
Yeah.
It can't be half. Because they had to set it to 5.
It even was out that, like I said before.
Back we go.
Even was out that, like I said before, was the way Mario reacts when you're in danger, because the, like, you still have the constant effect, but you're technically not in danger because you're at 5 HP. That really does tell me that the designers, like, they seem to have not thought anyone would do this.
In many ways.
I have also, for years, because of this, been convinced that the 10 HP, that Mario actually doesn't just start with 10, that you start with an invisible level up. And I think a ROM hack confirmed something like that to be the case, but I can't fully remember. almost making me wonder if they thought about you maybe starting Wiz 5.
The other thing I want before going into the next chapter, the one guy sells Jumpman, but I'm probably going to sell some of my extra partner badges and stuff to get up some extra money to afford the Jumpman. But I've come back here for the one thing. And on another note, because I wanted to talk about this a little bit last time and I didn't. And this is just people. Damn it. Alright. Well, I can.
Well, this will show the thing I was talking about unless this version changes it. Yeah, you're not in danger, except you are.
Just to show. Like, I did stronger damage. Just to show, and I did the single. Get to put the multi back on. See, I do. Like, that's honestly kind of cracked. Alright. With the extra. So, on Mega Rush, and put that on, and chill out. What I was going to say. So, well, first of all, like, I did 5 damage, and Mega Rush is 5 damage added when you're at 1 hit point, but I just wanted to show the single jumping on an enemy, just to really make a point about it. But the thing that was bothering me, it was just one of those things. And this had happened very recently. Nintendo took down more ROM sites, and we have people getting way too butthurt over that ROM site thing.
Of course they do. People always do. Even if Nintendo offered every game they've ever published, people would still get angry.
And I'm sorry, but the thing is, and you can give me all the crap for having this opinion, but people talk about Nintendo taking down ROM sites is basically Nintendo shitting on their legacy and ruining. Also, on my way back, I might take a longer route to go steal leaves. Because if I head to the city, like, oh, Nintendo was like shitting on their legacy, and they're ruining, basically, it's like, oh, Nintendo's shitting on their legacy, and they're ruining preservation, and oh, preservation is so important. Nintendo is making, like, all preservation of their games non-existent. It's like they don't realize that this stops preservation. But the thing is, and I'm sorry, and if this video blows up and gets a lot of dislikes over this opinion, I need to say it because few people are, like, ever open and willing to say what I am about to say. That is the hard truth that you either do not want to face or blissfully ignore, which is preservation and availability are not the same thing. Nintendo is really good at preserving their games. They're just preserved. Like, Nintendo's really good at preserving their games. They're just preserved privately on Nintendo servers. And people get way too butthurt with this. But that's not preservation. If I can't play it, what's the fucking point? Even though, I'm sorry, availability is not ever going to be the same as preservation. And Nintendo, over the years, has done an amazing job at actually holding on to games, because most other video game companies from the 80s wiped their ass with source code.
Yes. I don't talk about this, but Sega was literally encouraged, once a game is, basically once it has gone gold and shipped, remove the game from their records. Strip the game from their records, because if the higher-ups literally thought if they kept backups, people could steal those backups and reverse engineer them to a pirate.
Oh, fun.
To, like, pirate for the
I was
game.
hoping that would happen. That's funny.
What?
I came in here through the pipe, and it will show one of the other chapters we unlocked. But I can just skip the cutscene. My point! Nintendo does preserve their games.
Yes.
They're just preserved privately, and that Giga Leak is a good example of that, because that was a bunch of, like, unused N64 stuff, and earlier...
That leak unveiled a, like, beta for, like... Didn't that leak or...
Oh, come on.
Sure.
Jumpman should be available, meaning I might have
We've seen it before. The Jumpman and the Hammerman are available at the same time. It's literally just a luck.
Well, first, let me sell the crap out of, like, a few of my partner badges and just other stuff I don't need now. That can go. The FP Plus is super useful. That's kind of nice, but we're doing full danger, so screw the partners. Sorry, guys. I always do this. And then I'll often sell off a few other Mario-focused things. Like, if I need to, I can sell most of my jump-focused badges. And I might sell this HP Plus.
Because we're in full danger, we really
don't need it. I'll leave some of those other things for now, but if I need to, I'm gonna sell my other jump badges. No, that's... We're in full danger! I don't need the...
HP. No.
On.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the one guy resets...
Oh, loading zones? I think I can come down and come
Going
back.
through this pipe will make resetting him actually
Well,
easier.
if I'm jumping around and we just have a minute... God damn it. Preservation is not the same as availability, and I'm sorry, so many of you sound like entitled whiny bitches.
A video about a game ownership, and I'm still amazed at this.
Let's see if it changed on.
Like our loading zones. Actually, no, it didn't.
I think it's 2 loading zones. Damn you! I can cut past some of this because this is just the... Like, his shop is random.
Yes.
Down we go, I guess. Availability is never the same as preservation. And I'm sorry, anyone who links those...
I was going to say, before we saw that the one guy's like shop didn't update...
I believe it's 2 loading zones.
Yeah, it did change.
Alright, if it's 2 loading zones, let me figure something out. Alright. It's time for the question of the day. And my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, how many of you think Danger Mario is an exploit? I asked a similar question in the GameCube version of the game, but overall, I think I need to reiterate this because, in my opinion, it's not an exploit. If anything, it's more of an oversight because all the mechanics are working as intended, even if Curson is going to act like they're not. Everything is working as intended, and even in the remake, Danger Mario still works exactly as it did on GameCube. So, you would think that they would address that if this was really some crazy exploit, but they left this in the remake when they easily could have removed your ability to go from 10 HP to a permanent 5 HP. They could have easily done that if they wanted to, and yet they left this mechanic in. This never felt like an exploit, in my opinion. It always felt like an oversight. Like they never thought about people doing exactly this, and they could have addressed this in the remake. And yet, here we are, and I always thought it was somewhat of a bad take to call this an exploit when Danger Mario, in my opinion, always came off as more of an oversight because of the way the game works, because everything is working as intended. But everything is working as intended in a weird way that basically is not something most people would ever conventionally do. And it always bothers me when Carson tries to take this game down a peg by acting like Danger Mario is an exploit and some type of weird example of bad game design, when everything that Danger Mario does is functional when you do this because everything is working as it should. You're just doing something that was obviously never intended, but mechanically all the mechanics work because he always tries to argue about the weird HP thresholds, but all the danger stuff says 5 HP or less. If your maximum HP is 5, of course those badges and stuff would never deactivate. And again, it feels like more of an oversight where a stat can be a minimum of 5, but they start you with 10 hit points. So, if you remove 5 of your starting HP and swap it with BP or FP, now that you have a permanent 5 hit points, all of the danger badges and stuff work forever, which again feels more like an oversight because everything being done is being done in a logical way that works mechanically as you would expect. It's not like you're doing something weird in order to achieve this other than the stat swapping, and that's likely just a simple little programming quirk where they allowed a minimum to exist and HP can be dropped to that minimum. But Curtin always acts like this is some crazy broken exploit. But again, I feel like it's an oversight because, as I will keep saying, everything is functioning in a way it's supposed to. You're just stacking effects in a way that seems unintended but doesn't feel like an exploit because it feels like it's simply using some odd little coding quirks. And as I said numerous times, I feel like that would be more of an oversight. But anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments. Or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links as well as my Discord links are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.